Hi everybody. I'm going to work on this project here today. Kind of give you a recap of what I've already done to this tractor and what I'm going to do hopefully today and what other little projects I have planned for in the future. We're up at the Kenmare Pioneer Village in Kenmare, North Dakota. I'm one of the volunteer caretakers of these tractors. So I try to keep them in tip-top running condition. They all need a little bit of work because they were on loan from the Mogren family for quite a few years. They put them up here in 2012, and then, well, I'm not even sure which year it was, about 2016, 18, somewhere in there, a few years back, they actually donated them to the village. So now we can actually work on them as we see fit to keep them maintained and whatever, where before it was their responsibility to work on them and keep them running. So I'm one of the couple of people that actually works on these. So over the summer here, I've been trying to get them tuned up a little bit. So the goal is to keep them in running order, so a guy can hop on, start them up, take them out, run them around a little bit, and reliably use them. So they're more than just a static display, and it's a lot of work, but they were restored fairly well back in the day, so it isn't a ton of work to get them back in tip-top shape. So a few weeks back I had this one up and running. Well, we had it going for our Pioneer Day back in the beginning of July. We had it running well enough to get it out and park it alongside of the building for people to look at, and that was about it. When we went to go put it away, it didn't want to stay running. It was having gas issues. The tank was full of lousy, icky, nasty, varnished up gas, so it was plugged up and wasn't getting to the carburetor, so you'd run about 5 seconds and then it would die, and the fuel bowl would slowly fill back up and you could run for another 5 seconds and it would die. And so we got it back in the barn, and like I said, a few weeks back I took the whole gas tank out and fuel line off and cleaned everything out, which is a big job on this tractor because the fuel tank actually hangs from the bottom side of the hood with these straps. So you have to remove the entire hood, flip it upside down, take the tank out just to clean the tank. So it was really a pain to do it. But I did all that, cleaned the tank all out, cleaned the fuel bowl all out, ended up having to put some new fittings on the gas line because those were leaking on that end. And then got it going, got it running, and actually took it over to where I work, which is conveniently happens to be right across the highway, and hooked it up to a drag and drug our gravel parking lot for about an hour just to put a little bit of a load on it, work the tractor a little bit, and that was great. It ran like a top. The only time it died is when it ran out of gas, so I put some more gas in it and started it up. But the only issue I found was that the temperature gauge does not work. So that is the project for today, is to take this temperature gauge out and get up in there and take it out of the dash, which is going to be fun because it's pretty tight quarters up in there, and then take off the line, the block there. I'll have to drain the radiator down first before I do that so the antifreeze doesn't come pouring out of there. And then as long as it's drained down, I might take apart I'm assuming the thermostat is inside of this housing. I might take that apart too and check that out and probably put a new thermostat in there if at all possible. If there's one in there, there might not even be one in there. But I kind of suspect that there is, and it might be stuck, shut, or partially shut. because when I was done running it, you know, feeling the oil pan and the block and stuff, it was pretty warm, you know. No signs of it overheating or problems or anything, but it was pretty toasty. So I'm wondering if the, you know, like I said, the thermostat might be stuck shut or partially shut. So before I run this much more, I'm going to, you know, check that issue out, because I'd hate to go and wreck a good running machine just because of something simple like that. And it is a pretty rare machine. I guess I should step back and it's a D3 co-op. According to this tag, it's 1944. This tag needs to be updated. There's some typos on it, but I guess I'll let you read it there. They only made 200 of these tractors. So it's a pretty rare unit. The serial number is stamped on the frame here. It's a D3 106. So it's a pretty neat engine. It's a really smooth running engine. It's got this Chrysler engine in it. So it's very smooth running engine, 6-cylinder flathead. I like running this tractor. And it's got like a truck transmission in it. I still haven't 100% figured out the shift pattern on this thing, because it's really strange. It's at least a 4-speed reverse, I think maybe a 5-speed, excuse me, 5-speed forward with 1 reverse. But it's a really strange shift pattern. It's not just your typical like H pattern. And there's at least 1 very high road speed in it, like fast enough where it's a little bit, you know, hairy to even put it in there and go in road speed, you know, short of being on nice smooth blacktop, because it's fast. And then what else can I say about this tractor? Like I said, everything seems to work. Belt pulley works, PTO works. Tires are in pretty decent shape. Oh, one thing I do want to kind of pick everybody's brain that might be watching this, that might have a little bit of knowledge on this. There's the block serial number. Is where can I find, and did they even make, a operator's manual or service manual, parts manual, whatever kind of manuals are available. If anybody could point me towards the direction of finding one of them, or a copy of one, or whatever, just so I can have some you know, maintenance information and repair information, specs, that type of thing. I would very much appreciate that. So you can contact me in the comments below or whatever, and we can touch base from there. Because yeah, I'd like to know a little bit more of the specs about this tractor. Because giving it an oil change is in the short list of things to do. The oil's pretty black in there. So you know what weight and of oil it recommends. I probably should check all the fluids in all the transmission and all that stuff. You know, there again, to know what should they be running in there as far as oils, all that kind of fun stuff. Because I don't know with this tractor, and like I said, I haven't been able to find any manuals available, and even finding information on this is pretty scarce. There isn't a ton of these out there. You know, we only built 200 of them, so that's what I know as of this point. I think I'll fiddle around with this a little bit. Maybe I'll fire it up and take it for a little run just to show you guys. But yeah, I'll check back here. Well, there, that wasn't too terribly bad. Got the temperature gauge out without any issue. As long as I was at it and the radiator was drained, I took the thermostat housing off. So I'm going to clean that up. Get a new little chunk of hose, as long as we're this deep. Get a new thermostat, even if it is okay, which I suspect it's probably not. But even if it is, for the whatever, $10 or whatever it is, it's cheap insurance to make sure it's working right. And now's the time to do it while it's all apart and drained. So I'll go see if I can round up those parts and get her back together here. If we can't find parts locally, I'll have to order them up, I suppose. But there's the fitting all cleaned up. So yeah, coming together good. Okay, we got housing cleaned up. We got a new thermostat. We got a new chunk of hose. Some Permatex to put it all together. I got to cut a gasket yet, I guess. I was not able to find a temperature gauge locally, so I'll have to see what I can find online. We got the surfaces all cleaned up in here. Probably can't see much of that because it's so dark, but gonna cut out a gasket and let's put it all together. So all thermostats back together. So new gasket, sealer on both sides, sealer on the threads that go into the head here. New hose, tightened up the hose clamps. So we're good to go all there. Obviously I can't fill it back up yet because I don't have the new temperature gauge yet. I'll have to go home and see if I can find a source for them. I wouldn't want to fill it up quite today yet anyway. We'll let that sealer dry first. But it's, besides the temperature gauge, we're good to fill the antifreeze back up. I did check the air cleaner. It's an oil bath air cleaner, and that's all clean and good to go. So, yeah. Another thing, if anybody knows where I can source a little clip like this. Come on, focus. Yeah. Locks into a little half turn like that, because the bottom one is missing, so it'd be nice to put that one on there if the guy could find one of them, but I have no idea where to find one like that. That's pretty obscure hardware. So yeah, that's probably it for now, like I said, until I round up that temperature gauge. So I'll probably put together a little video here now, and then we'll do a part 2 when I get the gauge put back, and we'll get it running and take it out and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching.